So a month ago, I made this video behind me. It was on January 17th, Think Before You Buy an Nvidia GPU, where I basically went through the prices that the GPUs from AMD and Nvidia actually sell for on the actual market. I mean, sit in stock. I don't mean like sit all day looking for a deal. I mean, a person with an actual job can just get home from work and be like, I think I'm gonna buy a GPU today, get online and see what's available. And at basically every price point, I saw AMD offering a better performance for the same money, or just the same performance for less money, whichever way you want to look at it, almost every tier. But I think that's changed, guys, and only in the last day or so. So here's the big change. Not Nvidia, Newegg seems to now be offering some of the combo deals that used to be only in their Newegg Shuffle. But now they seem to just be sitting on their site, and for the most part, sitting in stock. You might see this one's in my cart. I considered buying it. I took it out of my cart, but anyway. Well, what's going on here? So I don't know if this is a response to maybe demand on GPUs is going down, prices are going down. We've seen prices trending down as Ethereum, is moving theoretically closer to proof of stake. I don't know for sure the reason why. It could also just be all the bad publicity from Gamers Nexus shining a light on Newegg's, shady return policies and all of that. But for whatever reason, if you want to buy an RTX 3080 bundled with a motherboard, you can do that for about $1,400 right now. And that's such a huge change from a month ago. Because a month ago, when I was comparing the $1,400 price range, I had the RX 6800 XT, who is still sitting around $1,350, which is about where it was a month ago. But a month ago, I could not find an in-stock RTX 3080 for $1,400. I had to go up to like $1,700 to find one in stock consistently. And for that price difference, $350, I'm not sure that the 3080 makes sense over the 6800 XT. But for an extra, what was it, 50 bucks? Well, I guess more like 60, 70 bucks, but you get the motherboard thrown in. I mean, it's a Z590, okay? I don't know if you'll be able to sell it or not, but even if we ignore the motherboard, that price difference now, and by the way, this is the 12 gigabyte version of the 3080, which, if I pull up a, let's see, I think I have the hardware unboxed review of the 3080, which rightly calls out the shameless cash grab, by the way, here. I'm not trying to act like these are good prices. I'm comparing the prices that are currently available and whether it would make sense to buy an Nvidia GPU or an AMD GPU at these prices. Well, notice that the 12 gigabyte model of the 3080 isn't just a 3080 with 2 more gigabytes of VRAM. It also actually has more CUDA cores, which gives it more performance. It actually performs closer to a 3080 Ti than it does to a 3080, which is really interesting. And it also means that while at 1440p, the 6800 XT was basically tied with the 3080 here, maybe with a slight advantage, the 3080 12 gigabyte version actually had the advantage here at 1440p in the hardware unboxed test. And if we jump over to their 4K results, the 3080 12 gigabyte has a very significant lead over the 6800 XT. So you're getting quite a bit for your money there, and that's then also look into the ray tracing and DLSS, which should be obvious at this point. Guys, I've actually got to say, if you're buying a GPU in the $1,400 price range right now, you should buy a Newegg combo deal with the 3080 12 gigabyte. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying you should spend $1,400 on a GPU right now. I'm saying if you are in the market for a $1,400 GPU. Now, by the way, that's not the only combo deal there. Here's another one bundled with a different motherboard. And these first two are Intel, but I believe this one is an AMD like B550, I think. So you've got a few different options here, actually, as we go. So I found that really interesting. There's a whole bunch of them here in this $1,400 price range. Although as you get out here, these aren't the aren't bundle deals anymore, although I think a few more might be thrown in. So depending on the card you're looking for and the motherboard you're looking for. Very interesting. But this is also going on in other price brackets. So last time, when I looked at the $800 to $900 price bracket, we had the 6700 XT sitting there and competing against cards like the 3060 Ti. Well, check this out. The RTX 3070, which last month tended to be at least sitting in stock at about $1,000 or more, well, I once again can now find a in stock. By the way, I'm searching for in stock, and I can check, and I added them to cart. I've checked. These are really here. An in stock RTX 3070 comboed with a motherboard. This is a Z590. So you can get a Z590 motherboard along with your 3070 for $899, which is about the same price as the 6700 XT. There's a $10 difference here, but you get the motherboard, you get better ray tracing performance, and you get DLSS. I've got to say, if you're shopping in the $900 price bracket, as far as what's actually sitting in stock, I think I've got to recommend the Nvidia GPU there. Complete reversal from last month. Okay, dropping down another pricing tier. What if you're shopping in the $650 price range? Well, the RTX 3060, not the 3060 Ti, but the 3060, has a bundle deal for $650 sitting in stock with a 1 terabyte PCI 4.0 NVMe M.2 drive. That's valued at least $100 probably. So that's, I mean, honestly, guys, the RTX 3060s I was finding last month were hard to find for $650. They were floating more around $700, $750. So that's a lot more interesting. Now, from the AMD side of things, I looked for an RX 6600 XT. Now, I can still find a 6600 XT for $589. So for $590, it's actually significantly less money. And in rasterized performance, the 6600 XT will be better than the 3060. So in this price bracket, I'd actually say seriously consider the 6600 XT. But if you happen to need an NVMe drive, that 3060 doesn't look that bad. It's certainly a lot better than it was last month. And now let's drop down price brackets again. If we look at Nvidia's RTX 3050, we're seeing them for $450 bundled with a motherboard. Now, the problem here is that this motherboard is I think it's like a B450M. I don't know about that, but this one is a little bit more, but this one's coming with the same NVMe 1 terabyte no, this is a 500 gigabyte SSD. So I'm less impressed by the 500 gigabyte SSD. Now in this price bracket, we can usually find ourselves an RX 6600 non-XT version, which will outperform that 3050. And I can find it for $440. So unless you really wanted one of those comboed items to help you with your build, it is looking to me like the 6600 is still the GPU to buy. And goes along with my video the other day of, the only GPU that makes sense to buy. Okay. So I do still think at these lower tiered prices, now I hate calling the $400 to $500 price range lower tier, but these days, I actually do think these AMD cards still make sense. The 6600 and the 6600 XT are still looking very compelling compared to their Nvidia counterparts. Now, last but not least, the last time I saw an RTX 3090 going for less than like $2,500, even into the $3,000 range, well, it's been a while, although I don't actually follow 3090 pricing that closely because they're just too much. But hey, you could get a 3090 with a 1,000 watt EVGA Supernova GPU, not GPU, PSU. Guys, this is a 3090. That's a 3090. This one just went out of stock. It was in stock. I promise it was in stock a minute ago when I started the video. Okay, I'm not surprised that one went out of stock. So, hey, okay. So slightly more expensive, and now it's a motherboard. Oh, and it's a B450. Yuck. So these aren't the greatest bundles. That 1000 watt one was. That one went out of stock. Not surprised. Anyway, hey, I filmed these things live. These things happen. I'll acknowledge it. But hey, still, that's lower than I would usually see a non-bundled RTX 3090 up until recently. Now, the RX 6900 XT is still significantly less money. I can find it in stock for around 1500. But that's the thing. Last time I did a video at the $1,500 price bracket, Nvidia had trouble competing because even the 10 gigabyte version of the 3080 was usually significantly more expensive, like at least $1,600, $1,700. Well, at the $1,500 price bracket now, I could actually get one of these 3080 12 gigabyte bundle deals, which once again, if we jump over to the hardware unboxed review, that 3080 12 gigabyte at 4K is pretty much matching and slightly beating the 6900 XT. And that's without ray tracing and DLSS, which it does have. Although FSR Ultra Quality does pretty good job at 4K. I still think DLSS does a little bit better job. And then at 1440p, it is true that the 6900 XT is going to be faster in rasterized performance than our 3080 12 gigabyte, but not by a lot. And once again, you get the better ray tracing performance in DLSS. So at that price bracket, I mean, and again, you're getting the bundle deal here. So if you get any value out of that other product, even if it's selling it for, $50 on your local Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something, I don't know, guys. I would say compared to last month, things are looking way better for Nvidia than they did. And honestly, I'm a little bit tempted to pick up one of these 3080s for the channel. It would be nice to do some RTX testing, some DLSS and ray tracing. I don't know. I might just do it. We'll see. And have an excellent day, guys.